Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and since it's Women's History Month, I'm here today to talk to you about Hannah Season 2, the rundown review. So beyond this point, as you can tell, like, it's not gonna be in my woman's like history month template. It's gonna be my normal generic template. Only because when I made the templates for this, I made it, of course, in my generic, um, template. And I don't have the time to, re-Photoshop this into that of my Women's History Month like template. So come as may. So, Hannah season 2. This is my all-time favorite Hannah season. This is a Amazon Prime show, and they have 3 seasons. And the first season is really good. The second one is beyond like amazing boss level, and the third one's pretty okay. I wasn't really that much of a fan in season 3. I still like it. I still think it's good. It's just certain things just didn't really happen the way I wanted them to, but then some things were still pretty cool. I got tired of the whole love thing in like season 3. Thank God there is no love relationships of any kind in season 2 other than just that of like friendship. And so like, 'cause I remember in the first season there was like a love triangle, this and that, and a couple of love stories, but in season 2 there is none of that. I love season 2 beyond words. I hope to God one day it will come out on DVD, because season 1 came out on DVD. And even though I really love season 1, I don't really feel like buying it on DVD, because it's kind of like they implemented, like they pretty much just retold the movie. And so when they did that, I don't know, there's just some things about like the movie that just kind of feel, like, I don't know, it's just like, it feel like there's 2 different stories going on, and they really didn't really get into that much of the spy espionage and all this other stuff. And so the whole U-Trax thing as well. And so it's like, you have that, the U-Trax stuff, but then you have like the whole family stuff and Hannah stuff, and then you had the whole Hannah trying to learn about like humanity and this and that. And so it was just like all these things coming together, and I kind of just wish it was just one cohesive story, instead of like a mosh pit of certain things. But like I said before, it is still a very good season. And you know what's funny about this show is that I never hear nobody complain that this show is woke. But you know what's interesting is that this show is very much woke. It kind of like escaped like the trolls and everything. And so, because I remember, because like, here's the thing. I was on like Twitter, and I was like, reading a comment on the new Halo series, because I haven't seen that yet. And some guys all like, if it's woke, then it's a hard pass for me. And then in the comments section, you just see people chewing him like a new hole and everything. I still don't understand what's the deal with like white dudes. Well, just white people in general, because some female white ones too. But I don't understand the point where they just want to see huge, muscular, white, straight men. Is that like their fantasy or something like that? Are they secretly part of like the LGBT and won't like admit it? Because that's all they want to see on TV. But like I said before, this show is like it is woke by definition. Because like in the first season, they race bent the family. That's part of wokeness. The entire series, no matter what season it is, has tons of strong female leads. That's a part of wokeness too. This show even has like a legit LGBT characters and stuff. Let me try to think. There's 2 I know for sure. One in the first season, and then another one who gets introduced in the second season, and she's also in the third. And then there are other LGBT characters that revolve around the show. And then there are some other character that you think might be, but then you're not really 100% sure. I think the movie really explained that in the first season. I mean, the first movie, the movie, and then the first season, like, because like the one girl, I forgot her name. the rebel girl, she like I think she is LGBT in the movie, and in the show you can't really tell. But there are like LGBT people all in this series and stuff. Also, this show is diverse in race. That's another part of wokeness and everything. And so it's just so funny that like this show is woke and nobody's complaining about it because it escaped their little tiny little brains and everything. However, I think one reason why it escaped people's notice is that this show managed to do something that modern day television and movies don't do when they go woke, and that is one, good writing, two, good direction, three, a good showrunner, and four, they actually have strong male leads in this series. They have strong male like hero and villain leads and stuff. And so that kind of what made people kind of like, okay, well, we ain't gonna complain about these. And but it's kind of like, but when this stuff is in other stuff, y'all complain about it. So it's like, what is exactly their deal and what exactly are they complaining about? So, anyways, this season is phenomenal. This season managed to get away from the convoluted storytellings of the movie and decided to go in their own direction. And in some ways, the second season is like a soft reboot of the series. Because in the first season, they implemented everything that came from the movie. In the second one, they kind of got away from some of the movie aspect type stuff. They got away from like, the family, which the family never reappears. They changed Hannah's personality in the second season. They introduced more of like the whole spy espionage aspect of what this whole series is supposed to be about. They explored more of what the whole U-Tracks thing is and why they're doing what they're doing when we see certain girls go on their missions and stuff. And so I just feel like everything nicely came into place with that of the second season. Now, I've already reviewed the first episode of season 2, so go watch that. And so every other episode after this is just as amazing, and especially towards like the end and stuff. And it really stands the volume how much Hannah will go to protect her friend, even to the point of being like recaptured if need be, And it's just like, it's interesting because all that stuff Eric taught her came in handy, but then all that stuff he taught her, she just threw out the window and did what she wanted to do to protect her friend and stuff. And I just wish there was more better television like writing like this. And I also wish that there were more seasons, but they wanted to do like a whole like 3 season like story arc. So in a way they did get their sequels to their movie and stuff. Cause there never was a sequel to the movie. The movie from what I read did pretty good. So let's get into a couple of characters. We have Hannah herself, played by Esme Clark, and she is phenomenal in this role. I think her last name is Clark. I don't have like no notes by me right now. I think that's her last. I know her name is Esme for sure. Anyway, she is phenomenal in this role. I hope to God she gets more like movie roles, TV roles, action roles, like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Now, interestingly enough, they rebooted her character and stuff. It's a soft reboot, but a reboot nonetheless. When you see her in season 1, because season 2 only takes place probably like a few weeks or a few months after season 1. And in this whole time, she is now acquainted fully in that of like real world culture. She is no longer sheltered. She now knows what things are, which is kind of weird because in season 1, she didn't know nothing. She didn't even know what a Snicker bar tastes like. And so she had no idea what like cell phones were or computers, none of that stuff. And because she lived in the woods like her like entire like life and stuff till she was like a teenager. Now her age is confusing to me because they said she was a certain age in season 1, but then when you get to the other 2 seasons, it's kind of like, or did the same writers come back because their ages seem to be aged up all of a sudden. And so like in season 1, Like I said before, she didn't know nothing. She's never been kissed by a boy. She didn't know what going clubbing was. She could drive, but barely. But she could drive though. She didn't know what computers, electronics. She didn't know what certain foods taste like. She just knew what all Eric taught her, or was just like the basis of like survival and how to take people down and fighting skills, stuff like that. So she had like a cultural explosion, if you will, in season 1. And then you get into season 2, and then all of a sudden she knows everything. She knows how to get on the internet. She knows how to work a computer. She knows how to use a cell phone. She knows how to properly drive, and not just drive any kind of car, but like a stick and everything. She is now teaching Clara everything that she knows and everything, because Clara doesn't know anything as well, because she's been in the UTRAS facility her entire life. And it's just kind of weird that they went through this whole soft reboot and stuff of like, her character, and it was for the better, to tell you the truth. And so she's better at blending in, and she does something that Eric told her never do, and that's trust Marissa. Because she lies, and of course she trusts her and everything, because she helped her at the end of season 1. And so I think Hannah is probably one of the best all-time female action star characters of like all time. Like she's one of the best. She's not the best, but she's one of the best, because she started off as like, just like a little pebble and everything, and like not knowing nothing, and became like this huge mountain towards the end of like season 3. Marissa Viegler. So she is still in this series. And in season 1, she was just straight up evil, working for Utrax. And towards the end, she started turning nice, because for some bizarre reason, she really likes Hannah as like a mother figure type thing. Why? Who knows? But in season 2, it's still that way. She still wants to do everything she can for Hannah, while still working for Utrax and keeping them off Hannah's radar and stuff. And so she goes through an ordeal in this season, because people in the top are starting to suspect her and everything. And it's kind of hard to like keep up that ruse when like, you're working for both sides. Clara is back in this season. From last season towards the end, we found she was in the UTRAS facility. She doesn't know anything other than what Hannah has taught her. And just like I reviewed in the first episode, she got recaptured by Utrax and is now taken to the Meadows. The Meadows is completely different than that of Utrax. In the Meadows, you have a little bit more freedom to walk around and express yourself. She is very defiant about being in the Meadows, and she is now conflicted because like part of her wants to like resist, and the other part wants her to like accept just what it is. Now, it's what's so weird is that they said in the first season she's different, and they never truly explained what that meant. And because like I thought like, okay, maybe she's more advanced or something like that, or there's something wrong with her psychologically that's different from the rest of the girl, because the rest of the girls act like little robots and stuff. And so it basically just means she has more of an individual side. But then when we see the other girls in the Meadows, they have a very individual side too. So I don't know exactly what the world they were talking about in season 1. Also, this whole enhancement of like the girls, because they said the girls can like see from far away distances, they can hear miles away, they have animal DNA in them. We know Hannah used to be able to hear from like a mile away. She no longer can do that in this season and in the series. And it's just like, so that's the part of like the soft reboot. All of that like genetic enhancement, Dark Angel type stuff is like, it seems to now be gone in season 2. And so that's kind of for the better, because that was kind of getting a little bit hokey type mess, And so now we're going on to the next character, John Carmichael. He is the new antagonist of this season, and he is very much that of a bad guy. And so he takes over the Utrax facility, well, the former one, and the whole metals thing, which pisses off Marissa. And he keeps close tabs on her and suspects her of being a little shady and stuff. Now, he has a hidden agenda, because he spilt some beans years ago and he needs to cover that up. Leo, he is kind of like someone I guess you could say like a mentor to the girls of the Meadows. He's there to make them feel comfortable. He's there to make them feel relaxed. He's very like soft spoken. He is very loyal to John until he starts to question John, but then he's still loyal to the end. And so he's there as to be kind of like the moral support for that of the girls, so they have somebody to confide in when they want to, somebody they can really trust. And one of the girls trust him a lot towards the end of like the season. And it's funny the exchange of dialogue that she gives to this woman and stuff. I'll explain that a little bit later. There is Terry. She is the new CIA recruit for the Meadows and everything. Her job is to pretend to be the family members to about 60 of the girls that are there. And so basically what it is that she stays on her computer monitor 24/7, and she emails each girl pretending to be like a parent, a mother, a father, an aunt, an uncle, something like that. And she communicates with the girl so the girl can learn to better adequate themselves back into society when they go on their missions and blend in. She is not evil in any kind of way. And so she helps out a lot, especially that of Claire and everything. And she helps out a lot in season 3. Now, there are tons of girls in the Meadows, but the show only focuses on 2 that came from U-Tracks, Jules and the other girl. So Jules, let's get into her first. Jules, she is the LGBT girl. She is a lesbian. Even though she knows, like, even though she's been in U-Tracks, like where everybody else and is like brainwashed like everybody else, she knows like what's up. She knows this is all fake. She knows when they get the emails from the family members, it's all fake. And it's funny how she can switch it on and off, because it's kind of like when she be with the girls and talking, when she's talking with the girls, she's all about like, being who she really wants to be individually, and talking about how this is fake, this is crap, why they put me in a relationship with a guy when I like girls and stuff like that. And then it's like, then as soon as that, she like switch it back on and she's back to being brainwashed. She's like, oh, so did you hear from your mother? And everything and stuff like that. And so even though she knows like all this is fake, it's crazy how brainwashed and like believable she acts when she had to switch it back on and stuff. And she helps the girls, because when the girls are upset about this and that, she's acting like her brainwashed self, telling like, oh, it's so sad your mother died, and all this other stuff and blah 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 blah. And it's creepy, man. Like, it's so creepy how they believe that stuff and make it so believable, to the point when you're watching, you almost believe it yourself, because that's how believable they are. And then you have to like smack yourself like, no, this is fake. Now, Jules and Hannah, oh, they do not get along whatsoever. Sandy, oh, Sandy. Sandy is the most brainwashed of all the girls. She truly 100% believes everything that's fed to her. Like, even though she knows also it's fake too, she doesn't care, because that's her new life. She wants the idea of having a family. She loves hearing from those fake emails of her family. She thinks as the girls as like her sisters and everything. She really cares for like Clara as almost like in a best friend type of way. So when those two start to clash, it's really interesting. Now, Jules has a crush on Sandy big time, and doesn't really let her know, but you can see it by the way she holds her whenever like her and when Sandy and Claire get into like a fight, and it is a fight. And so like so when I say she's uber brainwashed, my God, the girl is too believable to where you gotta smack yourself and remember like, hey, she ain't got no real mama. Her mama's gone and everything. It's like, it's just like, it's crazy how believable she is, and you can see it in her eyes and stuff. But she is gun-ho for the whole U-Tracks thing. When they send her on a mission, tell her you gotta kill somebody, boy, she does not hesitate and everything. Which causes, but until it starts to become a problem for her, And it's like one of those things where she starts to like freak out because she's not carrying out her mission properly and everything. And so it causes her to panic a little bit and become more agitated to where she really wants to prove herself and everything. And so, like, I remember at one point to get Clara, not, was it Claire or was it somebody? I'll get into that a little bit later. Anyway, and it's funny because when she goes on like a mission, right, she is enrolled in college, which don't make no sense because they, if they're supposed to be like 15, something like that, then how are they passing as 18 and 19-year-olds? Anyway, so when she's on like a mission and she's living in like an apartment and the owner of the apartment is talking to her, in comes Leo. He's all like, "Oh, this is my niece." Now, this is the thing now. Sandy is white, Leo is black. And he said that's his niece. And so the landlord lady's all asking Sandy, "Oh, he's handsome. Is he single?" Now this is the part when I said some of these, like, Leo is devoted to these girls and these girls are devoted to him. Sandy is so devoted that because Sandy's pretty much everybody's favorite at Utrax. She's Leo's favorite, she's John's favorite. And so Sandy tells that woman with a really mean look on her face, talking about, "Yeah, he is married to my aunt." And slams the door in her face. And I truly believe that Sandy does think of this man now as her uncle. Like, she went from thinking of him as like the mentor type dude to like now her uncle, because that's how brainwashed she is. So piggying back off of the first episode, in the second episode, after Hannah waved at Marissa and everything, we see those two in a hotel room as Marissa is now dyeing Hannah's hair blonde and cutting it. Now, this is a reference to that of the movie because the girl who played Hannah had blonde hair. And, well, she had to dye her hair blonde. And sadly, she said she got picked on for having blonde hair too, because of that. So Marissa is going to do everything she can to get Hannah out the country and so she can have a normal life. She called up some of her buddies and gonna get like a fake passport for Hannah to go to Canada and stuff. But unbeknownst to Marissa, Hannah has other ideas. She wants Clara back and she wants her back bad. Now, here's the interesting thing. Clara has a passport too. And I don't know if Marissa created that one as well, or if Hannah found Marissa's like friend to make Clara one. But anyways, so as they're like in this like apartment type place, um Hannah decides she's going to do some investigating work as Marissa keeps disappearing. Marissa keeps disappearing back to the meadows and talking to John. She wants her old job back. He will not give it back to her. And so he's constantly questioning her about how that evil dude in season one died and this and that. And so, like, Hannah, she still has a pill from the Utrax facility, the type of pills that they use to like sedate the girls and everything like that they put like in their forearms and stuff. So after finding the name on it, because of course it's written on like the pill, she goes across the hall and talks to this boy, and she like does her whole blending in thing. Like, so when he's trying to get her like a drink, she's too busy on his computer, like looking up the facility of like the place that makes the drugs and stuff. After that, she takes like his dad's like money and cards, and then she like hightails it. So the boy is just like, "Whoa, what happened?" Because she just stole my dad's money. So when Marissa comes back, he tells her that. And Marissa forces him to like tell her everything that went on. So as Hannah's at this facility, she's staking out. She sees a skinny girl with a jacket on. So she gives the girl money and takes her jacket, and she's pretending to be that girl. Basically, they pay you to like take these drugs and do experiments and stuff like that. And as Hannah is there, she doesn't want to take the pills that they give her. And they're like, "Well, if you don't take it, you get to get out." So she takes it, and it sedates her a little bit. And it's this weird thing. They hook you up to like a machine. Now, I don't know if they are actually trying to brainwash these girls as they're going there, but what I do know is that Hannah is having flashbacks of her past. And it causes her to freak out, to have PTSD, and she is on the rampage, whooping everybody's butt. And she's trying to figure out the place to where they give the drugs to. And of course, it's the meadows and everything. So, this alerts the U-Tracks people at the Meadows, and so now they're investigating this thing. They want to know who this girl is that broke into this facility and act all crazy and stuff because they think Hannah is dead, and from that explosion, remember. And so, at some point in time, when they do find the girl that Hannah gave the money to, and they make her look through like files and files of like photos until she remembers that Hannah was that girl that like took her jacket and stuff. So now they know Hannah is alive. So at this point in time, um, she is trying to like, sneak into the Meadows place. Now, also at this point in time, Clara is having a hard time readjusting. Clara does not want to be there whatsoever. Now, one interesting thing, you see the girls at the Meadows, they're allowed to dress in regular clothes, but some of the girls still dress in their uniforms because they haven't really adjusted yet. And Clara is one of those girls. She refuses to wear regular clothes. She only wants to wear her uniform and stuff, and to be like defiant. So she starts to suspect how in the world did Utrax find her? And she remembers when she was at the Utrax facility that Sandy saw her use the computer looking up her mom. So she confronts Sandy about this. Sandy first lies but later confesses. A huge butt whooping is coming, and Sandy gets her butt whooped. So, Clara is not having it whatsoever. Jules see this and tries to intervene until she gets her butt kicked. And everything. And so like the people at the Meadows, they know they have to get to like Claire somehow, right? And so Leo tries to talk to him. He's all like, look, if I sit next to you and talk to you, you gonna promise not to try to rip my head off again? And so he tries to talk to her and she tries to rip his head off and everything. So they know they need another tactic. So what they do, they get Terry, and they get Terry to go in there and sit with her all night and sleep next to her and stuff and talk to her very gently and all this other stuff. And then they all like, look, your mom is dead, and but this facility will be good for you. You can family have like you're gonna have a family, the family you always wanted and everything. And so it takes a good while and those fake emails, and eventually it works. It works on her. She has now been broken and reintegrated back into like the U-Trax facility in the Meadows, to where she is now wearing regular clothes and going by the name Clemency. Why? Because that's the name U-Trax have given her. They don't want her to have her birth name of Claire. And she is going by Clemency too. So now that John knows that Hannah is like alive and well, he sends Sonia to like follow Marissa. He doesn't trust her, but he also sends her to kill Hannah and find her. As Sonia is about to like kill Hannah, Marissa shoots her and everything. So Marissa is still trying to get Hannah out the country after she found her and stuff, because she found her at the pharmacy pill drug place. And so like Hannah starts to get suspicious of Marissa's phone call. I think she said like, "Oh, it's my boyfriend," something like that. And Hannah remembers that I think Hannah knows that her and her boyfriend broke up. So Hannah gets suspicious and she looks at, cause you know how it comes in on the car when you call somebody. So I think she goes through like the phone messages or something like that, and she sees like a number, and I think there's like a spare cell phone in there or something like that, and she calls that number and it's John Carmichael. Hannah now knows that Marissa is up to something and she no longer trusts her. So she goes and she hides. Marissa's like looking for her, and when she finds her, she gets that butt whooped bad. Hannah went full on Power Ranger on her. I mean, it was to the point of brink of death. She whooped the snot rockets out of Marissa and everything. And so Hannah then tracks down like the Meadows place. And as she breaks in, she sees Claire and she tells her to come on, but Claire just stares at her and turns her back to Hannah. Hannah now knows that she has been re-brainwashed, reprogrammed and everything. And Hannah just like surrenders because Hannah's gonna try to break her out from the inside now. So while at the Meadows, they're trying their best to reprogram that Hannah, trying to make her be like, look, man, you're back home, you're with us now, and you're gonna like follow the rules and stuff. Now, one interesting thing when it comes to Jules, I want to point this out, is that remember I had said she's like a rebel and she knows everything that's going on. Well, she decides she's gonna have like a movie night, drinking night with her friends. So she goes to like steal some alcohol from like the supplier that comes in. And her and Sandy set up this like ruse and they steal like the alcohol. Now Jules thinks she did a great job, like great espionage spy type stuff. Nope. Leo set the whole thing up and Jules had no idea until he goes in their rooms all like, oh, great job stealing the alcohol. She's all like, you knew? You set the whole thing up. Like these people have everything planned out where these girls are constantly being monitored. Now, Marissa knows that Hannah has been recaptured, so she needs to get to her. So Marissa, all bruised up, she has to explain how she got bruised up. So she hops in her car, she points it towards a tree, and she goes on full throttle into the tree. And then as she calls the Meadows to come get her, she places a tracking device inside her lipstick. So that people on the outside can help find her. These people, I think, are friends of Eric's, I believe, and also friends of Marissa's or something like that. It's friends of one of them. I can't remember which one. And so, like, while there at the Meadows, Hannah is trying her best to get Clara to trust her. But Clara doesn't want to. Clara wants to just be Clemency and stay there. But she does eventually somehow kind of get into like Claire's head, only for Jules and Sandy to get back into Clemency's head. And so she tells them that Hannah's up to something and she wants me to leave with her tonight because Hannah plans on like busting out and everything. So when Hannah thinks everything's going her way, well, because Marissa, while in the place, she tries to kill Marissa, but they had to stop her. But then Marissa slips her a note. So she knows now Marissa really is on her side and everything. So her and Marissa are going to break out. They're going to take Claire with them. But it was all a setup from Jules and Sandy and the Meadows people. Also Claire. So they set Hannah up to where now they know they can't trust Hannah and they really can't trust Marissa. So she is now in like their prison being interrogated and everything. And it's really sad to see Clara be brainwashed and betray Hannah because Hannah is trying to do everything she like can to get her out this place and have a normal life and everything. And it's the loneliness of it all. It's just what that's why like they're so brainwashed and everything. So while there, Hannah has to, partake in their training exercises. They be out in the field, like in the Mel's place, and they're playing kind of like tag, or no, it's kind of like laser tag. And so, but it's out there like with teams. But Hannah decides she's gonna split off from her team and do everything herself and take everybody out. This is presses like a lot of the girls, but it pisses off Jules. Jules not like this whatsoever. And so like while there, they know that Hannah is still defiant and they have to break her somehow. And one way they do that is with Sandy. So they fake it to where Sandy's mom is ill. And then Sandy's fake mom dies. She's so emotional. She's so upset. She's crying. All the girls are there for her. And Hannah's just kind of looking at her like, you're an idiot. But then she's all like, I know this isn't real and everything, but it's real to me. At least I get to have a family. So then they try that on Hannah with the whole emailing her, pretending to be like a relative and everything. At first she doesn't want to, but then it happens. Hannah has been broken. And I know what you're thinking to yourself. Well, how was she able to be broken in just a matter of days? Nope. Months have passed by. Now, this show does a terrible thing and letting you know how much time has passed. They basically just tell you. It'd been nice if they would have put it in text in the screen, but they don't. But many months have passed, and Hannah has finally been broken. Even to the point where Marissa is trying to get her out, and Hannah don't want to go. Hannah doesn't want to listen to nothing. Hannah just wants to stay there and have a family and not live in the outside world, living in the woods and stuff like that. So while at the place, Marissa is about to be taken away and probably be disposed of. But a guard secretly talks to her and all like, I'm gonna help you get out. When the time comes, you get ready to move. So then another guard comes in. She's like, well, what happened to the other guard? He's like, oh, he's been relieved of duty. So when they take her away and driving, the but the truck gets like, or the Jeep or whatever, gets ambushed. And it's that guard that tried to help her before, along with a woman. And so they're all like, they're here to help and this and that. I guess they must be like, tend to be like friends of Eric, or they're friends with somebody, I don't know who, but anyway, they help her and stuff. And so now graduation day has come, where John wants the girls to go on their first mission. He sends Jules and Hannah on a mission to go kill a woman. And this angers Sandy because she's all like, why not me and everything. And so, but then Leo tells her, oh, but I have a special mission for you and Clemency and everything. So the girls are being tasked. They pretend to be college students, and they are supposed to Hannah and Jules are supposed to take out a woman, I think a woman who works in like radio or something like that. And so like at this point in time, a man, I believe his name is Steve, he is trying to get in contact with Hannah as she's on the outside. Now, he is the one who tracked Marissa to the meadows with that tracking unit she had. That they later found that tracks when she tried to escape, or the meadows when she tried to escape. And so he's been keeping a close eye on like Hannah and stuff, because Hannah did not want to go with him when he tried to get her to go. And so like he's trying to talk to her and everything, and she does not want to hear it. And he's all like, look, these people you're working for, they are terrible. They want to start assassinating people, because of course she's supposed to assassinate them. He's all like, look, I'll be here every day at this time. If you want to change your mind, talk to me. Well, of course, who sees her talking to this man? It is Jules. Now, Jules has a second mission. If Hannah starts to go like rogue on them, she is forced to kill her. So this woman who is like, I think she's like, no, she's not a radio person. I think she's a teacher. Yeah, she's a teacher, I think. And so Jules and them are in her class. And so this woman has some information that she is supposed to leak out to like the press and stuff. And this information is a list. Now, this is where John Carmichael screwed up when he got drunk. And so like Hannah is going to try her best to like save this woman. However, because Jules is on to her, Jules sets her up on the train, and Hannah has to fight the Utrax people. And so Leo has decided he's going to help out. So he kills this woman and everything. Now, since Jules' mission is over, she gets to go back to the facility. But Sandy and Clara are now on another mission. They are supposed to kill the man who has the list and everything. So Jules ended up killing Steve and everything. And so, like, of course, this list, they have to find the man who has it. Now, he goes by an alias called Taxius and everything. And so Hannah has now discovered something interesting. Clara's mom is alive and well, living in Malaysia, I believe, or Morocco. I can't remember which one. And so she's trying to let Clara know. Clara does not want to hear none of this because she doesn't believe it. So she's now being like very like conflicted, like, you know what I'm saying? And so Hannah now has to go to like another country to try to stop them. And so, well, she's already in that other country. So anyway, they always, like, this is the one thing that bugs me. They always bopping around from country to country, and you never know really what country they're in because they never let you really know no more. And so Hannah does something really interesting. She steals a car, but she steals a car in a very interesting way. She sees this car about to take off, and she runs and jumps in front of the car and smashes into the windshield. When the woman's like, "Oh my God, I just killed somebody." So the woman goes up to go see if Hannah's okay. Hannah has ran around the other side of the car and stole the car. That's the way you steal a car. And so, now about this list, what's so important about this list? You're probably wondering. Well, John Carmichael screwed up when he got drunk, and he talked to this man, and this man also works for like the government, I think like the CIA or something like that. And this list is a assassin kill list. It's who Utrex is designed to do. They're designed to go out with certain people and murder them and stuff. And he showed this man this entire list. This man took like a picture of it and decided he's not going to work for like John and Utrex and all that. John's kind of like, crap, I screwed up. If Utrex find this out, they're going to kill me. So this is what his main plan is, to murder this man. And it's off the books too. But everybody who works at Utrex think this is supposed to be on the books and everything. And so this man has like a daughter, and the daughter goes to like a college that Jules and Sandy go to. So they're supposed to be friends, this girl. And so the girl takes like Sandy clubbing and all this other stuff, and they try to do the best they can to, like, you know, integrate and blend in. They have a rough time doing it, so I like seeing that. I'm glad they're not perfect at it. And so Sandy's starting to get frustrated because the plan isn't really going as it's supposed to. Claire is now having second thoughts because she wants her mom and everything. And so like Hannah tries to stop the assassination, and it's like a huge fight between her and like Sandy, and Jules is contemplating if she's gonna kill this man or not. And so she decides not to, but then Sandy takes the man and she murders him and she flees. So now this girl's dad is now dead, and they also want the teenage, or not teenage, the college girl to die too. That's his daughter. And so now we're at the end, the finale episode, and everything is on like the line. Now they have to get the briefcase that the dad had. They have to hide the college girl who named Kat. They hide her in like a mansion. And the dude who's in that mansion, I think he works for those people, Utrex or whatever. And so like she leaves Claire with Kat and this man. The man is tied up. He tricks Kat into tripping the alarm that alerts Utrex and everything. Now Claire is being very stupid. As she's searching for her mom, she uses the man's computer and Wi-Fi. Utrex is able to track the signal and everything. They know they're looking for her mom. And so Hannah is now trying to, I forgot where she go. Oh, she has to go save Marissa, because Marissa, remember the lady and the man that rescued Marissa? They really worked for Utrex. The whole thing was a ruse. So she has to go and save her and everything. And so as the man escapes from the mansion, Leo ends up killing him. So now Kat and Clara has to fight like Leo and everything. And so at some point John comes in, because John is just kind of like, crap, dude, I gotta take care of all this crap myself. Everybody about to find out about me. So it's like a huge like thing that's set up at the end, where he accidentally shoots Leo by like mistake and everything. And then Marissa, she like spares John's life, ironically, and everything. And she wants him to be her inside mole into Utrex, which comes into the third season, which I've already reviewed. Also, this list is the kill list from the third season and everything. So this list is still going to be very much of importance. And so Marissa, you know, like I said, she kept John alive. He's going to be her inside man and everything. they got like Kat away to safety where she's gonna go back to live with her mom, but she doesn't want to because she said her mom's crazy. And when she leaves, she doesn't even like thank them or nothing like that. And so now it's time for like Claire, and it's time for um what is it? Um Clara and Hannah to say their goodbyes to each other. Now Sandy has already been informed that Leo has died, and this is before Carmichael towards the end. I forgot to mention this. This happened like in the last episode. He tells her that your uncle Leo is dead and everything, and it's time for you to go back to the meadows. And she just plays the piano, interestingly enough. And so okay, now so back with towards the end. So Hannah and Claire, they say their goodbyes. Claire's all like, I can't be on like to believe like the thank you and everything, like how much you've done for me. And so she tells her straight up, once you find your mom, y'all can't go back to where your mom lives at. Y'all have to like leave that country because Utrax will try to find you. And she gives Claire something that she's been wanting to give her since the beginning, and that's her fake passport. Hannah's all like, yeah, I kept it. I kind of figured, you might need it because I remember when Hannah was supposed to break out of the Utrax place for her and Marissa. Hannah kind of screwed up because she's like, I have to go get the passport out the tree she hid and everything. So that's kind of what got her like caught up and stuff. And then when she was brainwashed for those 3 months. So we see like Clara and her mom reuniting and everything. And we see Hannah go back to Marissa and she's like, what's next? And of course this leads into like the next season and stuff. So, all in all, this was an amazing series. There's so much action, so much intrigue, so much suspense and thriller and everything. I love the whole like James Bond spy aspect of it all. I love the whole Dark Angel super soldier aspect of it all. It's a really, really, really good series, and everybody plays their role perfectly in this and everything. It's brilliantly acted, written, directed, like you name it and stuff. The battle towards the end of the season, season two, could have been a whole lot bigger in my opinion, but it was still good and stuff. Happy Women's History Month, everybody. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.